and the road to the Final Four continues after this word from your local station.
Thanks for making CBS America's most watched network. Welcome home.
I'm going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come. I go to Rio. On the road to Morocco, Chicago.
FedEx carries more express packages to more places than any other shipping company on the planet. Everywhere from
Georgia
to Barcelona. About the only thing we can't carry is a tune. FedEx. Be absolutely sure.
My prayer is to linger with you at the end of the day in a dream that's divine.
Who called this meeting? I'm out of here. That was interesting.
The all-new Volkswagen Jetta. Sometimes everything just comes together.
Sports face-to-face with Tim Weigel. Sunday nights at 10:35 on CBS 2 Chicago.
Coming up, we'll send some of you to Boston to see the East Region game between Lafayette and Miami. Everyone else will head to Charlotte for that 1 versus 16 matchup between Florida A&M and Duke. For those of you expecting the Evansville, Kansas game, we'll get you to your tip at around 7:50. For those slated to see Mount St. Mary's against Michigan State, we'll get you to the start of that game at 7:55. Enjoy the games, everyone, here on CBS.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Isuzu, Bud Light, Conseco, and by Adams Golf.
We don't build commuter cars or get you to work fast pinstriped cars. We don't build cars, period. We build the 205 horsepower, get out of town fast Isuzu Rodeo. Because there's more to life than the daily commute.
How do you plan on paying unexpected medical bills? Conseco's supplemental health policies can help. Conseco. Step up.
The executives are at the gate. Around the first turn. That's Bill Williams leading Miss Kelly Mack on the outside. And Jane Carlson. As they pass the car rental counters, Kelly Mack has to stop to fill out paperwork. Now it's Jane Carlson and Bill Williams neck and neck. Bill has to leave the airport to get his car, but Jane's car is right there at Hertz #1 Club Gold. The trunk is open. The keys are in it. It's Jane Carlson and Hertz #1 Club Gold. Exactly.
It knows 2 speeds. Stop and go. It just beat a series of the toughest stop-and-go driving tests in the world, and it's brand new. Go ahead. Guess. You have 4.3 seconds. Introducing Pennzoil with new Pure Base. Stop. Go. Pennzoil.
It's March Madness time, Samo. Nothing but net.
Catch Sammo Hung and Arsenio Hall in the action series Martial Law.
Nothing but net.
CBS Saturday.
The so-called feel-good story and the Cinderella story, we the little guys carrying the balance. A lot of people who are going to be pulling for you. A lot who feel you don't need to be here. We know what we had to go through to get here. We know this. Now what I want you to do, gentlemen, seniors, last time around, you helped us get here, gentlemen. We couldn't have did it without y'all.
Chance for you to listen in as Mickey Clayton chatted with his team, Florida A&M. There may never have been a greater underdog in the history of this event, but that then is part of the charm of the NCAA championship. Tonight, Florida A&M takes on the top-ranked Duke Blue Devils. Mickey Clayton in his third full year, actually 3.5, and he will start for his 12-18 Florida A&M Rattlers. The following 5. Kendrick Green, Kevin George, Morris Scott, Monroe Pippins, and Travis Grant. And on the other bench, in his 19th season as the head coach of the Duke Blue Devils, Mike Krzyzewski. And the top seed in the country will start Chris Carrawell, Shane Battier, Elton Brand, William Avery, and for the third time this season, the second game in a row, Corey Maggette. Trajan Langdon unable to go tonight, injured his right foot against Virginia in the ACC tournament, sat out the final game, and will not play, we are told, this evening.
Well,
Langdon.
Trajan is one of the best shooters in college basketball. He's solid on defense, good ball handler, and got great work ethics.
Gene Monge, Mike Cyphers, Milt Stowe. With Al McGuire, I'm Vern Lundquist, and we are at the Charlotte Coliseum. Underneath, rejected by Corey Maggette.
That could have been goaltending.
Instead, it's the 216th block of the season for the Blue Devils. Florida A&M 12-18. This is Morris Scott. Monroe Pippins, the leading scorer on this team. Shot no good. In the corner, William Avery for Duke. Left side, Carrawell. Quickly out on the perimeter to Avery for 3. On the season, Avery with 39% from three-point range.
Putting pressure up court. Anytime you have a big advantage, you want to get rid of the team in the first 8 minutes or at least in the first half if possible.
First turnover. And Maggette dishes right side. 6-0.
They might have to come out of the man-to-man and go to his own.
Carrawell. Loose ball. Here comes Duke. Carrawell dishes back to Maggette. Offensive foul.
Maggette wanted Carrawell to float the ball up for a dunk and alley-oop, and he didn't do it. That's how come he lost his balance and charged.
6-0 the score in the early going, just under 90 seconds played so far.
You hear the kid, he wanted the ball up high to go over. He obviously charged in. Excellent call.
Now the Rattlers of Florida A&M out of Tallahassee. Entered the MEAC tournament as a 7th seed. Long effort. Got it! Ooh, Monroe Pippins.
Pippin hits his first one. Where's number 23? So he got part of Pippin and part of Michael Jordan.
Monroe Pippins, the leading scorer on the Rattlers squad. Here's the entry pass. And a foul called on the Rattlers.
Too much hands that time by George. Kevin George came down.
That's his first foul. Shane Battier goes to the free throw line. On the season, 73%. That one rattles home. 8-3 Duke. Little scoop shot, no good. Kept alive. Underneath by Green, and a foul called on Duke. And Mickey Clayton's going to his bench. He has a limited bench. 10 players suited up, but only 8 expected to play because of injury. Frank Oliver Jr. getting ready to come on the floor. Kendrick Green gets the first. And McGetty will rest for Duke.
Solid pressure up court, man-to-man.
Nate James comes on for Duke as McGetty picks up his second foul. Avery, James. Into the lane for 3. Want to advise those of you who are anticipating the Evansville, Kansas game. That one's coming up in just a few moments. We'll take you to that game momentarily. Traveling. Duke 3 of 3 on threes and a 6-point lead in the early going. Alley-oop. Elton Brand out of bounds. Duke to throw it in. Derek McGee comes on, replacing Kendrick Green for Florida A&M. McGee, a senior out of Jackson, Mississippi. Underneath the Brand, foul. They go to the line. The only loss of the season for the Blue Devils came in Alaska, the Great Alaska Shootout. Cincinnati, a last-minute basket. That trip taken in part to thank Trajan Langdon for his contribution to Duke basketball. He is a native of Anchorage, Alaska. And from that point on, the Blue Devils fell to 4th in the country that week after the loss to Cincinnati. They were 4th for a week, then 3rd, then 2nd for 8 weeks as Connecticut held on to the #1 spot. They have been #5 since UConn lost its first game to Syracuse.
Well, when they came back from Alaska, the coach was upset with Brand's play, and they didn't start him the next 2 ball games.
Morris Scott with that last basket for A&M. Elton Brand for 2. Florida A&M.
Got a hot hand from outside. They're hanging pretty good with the Blue Devils.
Here's Brand. They triple team him. Tipped away back into the hands of Avery. Puts the shot up and will go to the free throw line as the foul is called on Derek McGee, his second.
Avery's an excellent shooter. He already buried 2 3 balls. Even that shot then, after being bumped, he had it right up there around the rim. A lot of people think one of the problems with Duke, if Avery ever goes down, they don't have another point guard in that position.
Avery gets the first. Substitutions now. Chris Burgess comes on for the Blue Devils, replacing Elton Brand. Pippins.
Pippins is feeling the game. He's hot.
In the lane. Here comes Duke. Avery, right side, Burgess, number 34. Battier. Up, in and out. Picked up by Pippins. He'll run. Avery back. Left side. Blocking foul called on Avery. Travis Grant will go to the line. The junior from Atlanta.
Travis started opening up on the left side. Avery wasn't set underneath. Here's Grant coming in. Avery didn't have his 2 feet set facing him. Good call.
Travis Grant's father, Travis Grant II, star at Kentucky State back in the 70s, where he scored 4,000 points and averaged 33 points per game. And his son carries on as a player for Florida A&M. Time call, 4-point Duke lead.
Sorry. Not enough. No, still short.
For the great taste that will fill you up and never let you down.
Paper or plastic? Paper.
Make it a Bud Light.
Guys, need a receipt?
Arriving at last. From Saturn. The world's first 3-door coupe. Why didn't anyone think of this before?
Cellular One was one of the first to bring you a cell phone. We'll be the first to bring it to everyone.
Driving is optional. Stopping isn't. Get genuine Midas brakes for only $79.95 and our lifetime guarantee. Go safely. Go Midas.
In Alaska, the only thing better than finding oil is not finding oil still polluting that state 10 years after the Exxon Valdez. 60 Minutes, Sunday.
Greg Gumbel in New York. Duke is leading Florida A&M by 4. We'll keep you updated on the progress of that game. But those of you waiting to see the top seed in the Midwest, Michigan State, your time has come. Let's send you to Milwaukee. Mount St. Mary's and the Spartans, Tim Brando and James Worthy.
It has been the most exciting of regionals. Day 1 in Milwaukee, the Midwest region. And the top seed, the Michigan State Spartans, are now set to take on 16th seeded and certainly the Cinderella of Cinderella's Mount St. Mary's. The winner of this game will advance to take on the winner of our second game of the evening session, Villanova against Ole Miss. Hi again, everyone. Tim Brando alongside the big fella in the low post, James Worthy. James, we're talking of Michigan State, a top seed, Big Ten regular season champions, Big Ten postseason tournament champions. They're led by 4 players from Flint that lovingly refer to themselves as the Flintstones.
And the heart and soul of that team, no, it's not Fred, it's not Barney, it's Martine Cleaves, the co-player of the year in the Big Ten, has really done an excellent job of directing this ball club. He can really get it done. Look for him to lead Michigan State in this game.
Morris Peterson is the leading scorer for this team. He's not even a starter, and he's one of the Flintstones as well. The flip side, what a story. 45-year head man Jim Phelan winning his 800th career game, joining an elite group, and he got it done as a 6th seed in his own conference tournament championship, winning his way into the NCAA tournament. He said it was an awesome feeling.
It meant a great deal, and along with the 800, hey, it was like a triple header. You know, the conference championship, the NCAA bid, and the 800th win. I couldn't believe that it happened.
There you see the select group: Adolph Rupp, Clarence Big House Gaines, and Dean Smith. I'm sure you could draw a line of comparison for these young men to connect with a man of legendary status in the industry like Phelan.
Yeah, and talking to Coach Phelan yesterday, he reminded me so much of my college coach, Coach Smith, because he really knows the X's and O's, but that's not what it's all about. It's about nurturing young men and preparing them for life after they leave the university. That's what I admire about Coach Phelan.
Here are the lineups, including his. He has Melvin Whitaker, an outstanding story freshman who's getting a second chance, along with Robert Balgach, Tony Hayden, and Gregory Harris. Aaron Herbert rounds out his starting five. Peterson, Klein, Smith, Bell, and Cleves will get the call for Michigan State head coach Tom Izzo. 15-1 in the Big Ten Conference. Big Ten tournament champions. Tutored under Judd Heathcote, waited his turn, and what a remarkable job he has done. The officials for tonight's game: the veteran Larry Rose, Rich Sanfilippo, and Mike Wood. You know, I look at this game and you start talking of 16 seeds and usually the Herculean task in front of them. But even though this club was 15-14 for Jim Phelan, his is a very talented front line 16 seed in that Whitaker, who played, of course, at Oak Hill Academy, has seen some time as a big league player, was a highly touted prospect. He, along with Newton Gale, a senior who transferred from Niagara, you see there, players that can make a difference if they can just make some shots early.
That's true, and these are players that aren't afraid to play the game. They don't mind mixing it up. They don't mind that they're underdogs, but Whitaker and players like Gale and Harris will play, and that's what you want to see. This should be a very strategic game for Mount St. Mary.
And they will rely heavily on their guard play because Gregory Harris is another young man out of DeMatha High School, played for Morgan Wooten. So he's seen some pressurized situations and arguably could play in just about anybody's league. He will be given the task of having to contain the All-America Martine Cleves. What you'll notice from the Spartans is that they are a team without the dynamic acrobatic front line, but they play quality position basketball and dominate the boards.
Well, historically, Michigan State has played great team basketball, and that's what they're doing here today. They really collapse in the paint. They don't allow a lot of soft 5- and 6-footers. So this is a team that really keeps it congested on the defensive end.
Aaron Herbert off the tip. Controls it for Mount St. Mary's. Right away, the dump down to Whitaker. He's got game. Originally signed with Virginia. His story will be told as this evening progresses. It's a complicated one, but Mount St. Mary's giving him a second chance. Smith. Well, right away, Antonio Smith, the senior from Flint, known for his offensive board work, ties the game.
Well, tip ball, I believe, is going to be critical for Mount St. Mary not to try to get into a fast tempo, even though Michigan State doesn't run as much. They're better athletes than Mount St. Mary, so watch out for the tempo.
Tony Hayden, another senior, co-captain for this team, runs into trouble and turns it over. Cleves, always aware of where his teammates are. Smith tripped that time, sort of stumbled out of the gates. An unforced error by the veteran Spartan.
It's a lot to be said about catching the ball and gathering yourself without trying to put the ball up too quickly. Sometimes you lose it, as did Smith.
Gregory Harris gets the roll. 4-2, Mount St. Mary's.
Well, Mount St. Mary's not afraid to post up their little people. Whoever flashes in the lane and gets position will receive the ball.
Whitaker. Understand, with his presence on the floor, Michigan State had some matchup difficulties, James.
They sure do. At 6'10", Whitaker creates a lot of problems because he's a good rebounder, and once he gets going offensively, gains a lot of confidence.
There's the pop out by Klein. Good look inside. Nice work defensively. Well, Balgach really made him work for that one.
Well, Balgach from Yugoslavia was not afraid to go up and go for the block. But Michigan State doing a good job of sending back picks to free up players underneath.
Antonio Smith has 4. Chippy missed inside by Hayden. Stays with it. A little bit of nerves there for that young man. This is the grandest stage that Mount St. Mary's could ever play on. Klein knocks down a tray.
Klein, really a pretty good perimeter shooter, likes to spot up on the transition. And once he gets his feet set, he's a pretty good perimeter shooter, shooting 37% from behind the arc.
Whitaker. They've been a little quick with shots. Last couple of trips down. Cleaves. Klein keeping it alive. Again, the offensive board work for Michigan State. They average 5.5 more offensive rebounds than their opposition, James, whereas Mount St. Mary's averages 3.5 less offensive rebounds than theirs. So if Jim Phelan's team is knocked out early, it'll be because of the inability to rebound.
And Michigan State sends 4 players to the board just about every time. Martin Cleaves is usually the player back for defensive balance, but you're going to see 4 green shirts, green and white, meaning Michigan State going to the offensive board.
Gregory Harris got that foul. Mount St. Mary's staying in a zone. Sometimes that only helps the opposition just with offensive rebounding position. There's an air ball. Hayden brings it out of there, gives it up to Gregory Harris.
Well, Gregory Harris, as you stated, is well schooled. Having played for the Mather, it's like having a coach on the floor. Good savviness, good player to recognize what the defense is doing to set up an offense.
Right on cue, Gregory Harris. Makes it a 7-6 game. He has 4 at Mount St. Mary's 6. Another takeaway. Herbert giving it up. Oh, Harris outrunning Michigan State down the floor.
Mount St. Mary's going to try to sucker Michigan State into this zone. They want them to throw it in there where they can utilize their quick hands and get some steals and force some shots like they just did and get the rebound, and then they're off and running.
Harris is in the groove. He finds Whitaker. Count it. And a foul. Well, he said he could play with anybody, meaning Whitaker and this young man, Gregory Harris. Here's an example.
Well, Gregory Harris doing an excellent job of getting the ball to Whitaker. Now, here's the previous possession on the fast break. Great execution. Aaron Hubert delivering the ball to Gregory Harris, excuse me.
Well, outstanding 7-0 run for the Mount, and they lead by 4.
If you're not in it, you're behind it. Intrigue by Oldsmobile.
Security brief, sir. Somehow Johnson's had a pizza delivered.
A delivery boy just waltzed in here?
Fancy crust, toppings? Looks that way, sir.
Find him, now!
Where's the delivery boy?
It's not delivery! It's DiGiorno!
The Rising Crust pizza that bakes up fresh like pizzeria pizza. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Here, taste!
Is that Johnson's team behind us?
Exactly.
Are they members of Hertz #1 Club Gold?
Exactly.
Are we members of Hertz #1?
Not exactly.
So thanks to Hertz, they're going to get to the meeting on time.
And we'll be late?
So exactly what'll I tell the boss?
In Rent-A-Car, there's Hertz, and there's not exactly. Make sure you choose the right one.
And then a dog in the cargo hold ate our presentation.
Is he buying it?
Not exactly.
By
Financial goals require solutions. Dreams deserve dedication. Success demands performance. If there's something you want to achieve, the principal has one word of advice. Plan ahead, get ahead. The Principal Financial Group.
You drive. It obeys. Intrigued by Oldsmobile.
Hi, I'm Craig Kilborn. I have a new show on CBS. You want to know why? Because I know diversity is our strength. Starts March 30th after Letterman.
A very busy lady through this Midwest Regional first round. The third member of our broadcast team, Beth Mullins. Beth?
Well, thanks a lot, Tim. Well, Melvin Whitaker is certainly not your typical student athlete. He enrolled at the Mount last fall and started playing with the basketball team in January, but that was after a very turbulent time in his life. In 1996, he pleaded guilty to malicious wounding, a charge stemming from an assault on a University of Virginia football player following a pickup game on the campus in Charlottesville. He paid for his crime by doing 2 years' time in a Virginia prison, and now Whitaker is trying to put his life back together. Basketball is a big part of that rehab, and at 22 years of age, Melvin Whitaker is getting a second chance. Tim?
And Catholic school, known for forgiveness. They felt that they should honor his opportunity at a second chance. A.J. Granger making that bucket for Michigan State.
Nice defensive play there by Granger.
We look at the school profile, Emmitsburg, Maryland. On the Maryland-Pennsylvania border, it is the 5th smallest Division 1A school, Centenary the smallest out of Shreveport, Louisiana, St. Francis of Pennsylvania number 2, VMI 3, Wofford are the only one smaller, and that gentleman for 45 years their head coach, after being an assistant coach for Ken Leffler at LaSalle when they won the National Division 1A title at LaSalle in 1954. Leffler told him, he said, you take the job, it's a beautiful place, you'll like it, you'll win a lot of games, and then understand no one will know who you are. And he said, you know what, they're right. But they're finding out now about Mount St. Mary's. Granger knocks down another, we're tied at 11.
Mount St. Mary's gained a lot of confidence here early in the game. Big plays by Whitaker, and you never want to give the underdog confidence early because it just ignites the rest of the ball club. It gets everybody involved, even players that you normally don't expect to play well. So Michigan State has their work cut out for them to try to cool down the confidence of Mount St. Mary.
To further punctuate Beth's story on Whitaker, if you're wondering why Mount St. Mary's, a high school teammate of his lived in Gettysburg. He played with at Oak Hill Academy. Jeff Knoll was his name. Jeff's father is a dentist in the Gettysburg area. As you see, a three-pointer knocked down by Harris. He went to Don Anderson, the assistant, went to Knoll's father because he was such a pillar of the community and said, you know, I want you to meet this young man and tell me if you think that we should give him a second chance. Knoll's father did. He was very influential with the school. Dr. Harold P. Miminger, the athletic director, the president of the school, and board members all met with Whitaker and determined that they should give him another chance. Count the basket. Nice work again by Antonio Smith on the offensive boards. There's Don Anderson, the affable assistant coach to Jim Phelan, that helped engineer the Whitaker move to Mount St. Mary's.
Well, there's Antonio Smith, and that's his forte, rebounding and strong offensive moves in the paint. If you allow him to get around the bucket, he's going to find a way to get his hands on the basketball. What you have to do with Antonio Smith is box him out high while the ball is in the air. You can't turn your back on him because he's too strong. He's such a great leaper, and he gets a lot of offensive rebounds.
Number 1 in the Big Ten in offensive boards. And there is a discussion Jim Phelan is having with Mike Wood, one of our officials. May have to do with the basket actually counted, and it just did go in.
think there was a discussion about that. Obviously, the basket was made, so it's 14 all.
Well, here's the play again, and there's no question that the ball went in. That's definitely a three-point possibility.
I think you may have been arguing that the continuation does not necessarily come into play at this level, but it appeared to be a good call. Whitaker corrals it on the low block. That's the area of his game where there's still rust, James. Defensively, Jim Phelan's very happy with Whitaker. He says in the 2 years of incarceration, he definitely lost a step on the offensive end.
Yeah, it's very difficult to try to overpower with your move every time. He's going to have to work on his footwork, step through and drop steps. He's got such a long body that those type of moves would definitely benefit his game.
A.J. Granger has been a factor since coming in, trying to set up a pick for Cleves. Thomas Kelly from deep. He nails the three. He's senior from Grand Rapids, fifth-year player out of Union High School.
Also a good backup point guard. Can also play the scoring guard with a good touch from 20 feet on in.
Bethel turns it over just into the game, number 12 in blue. Cleves giving it up. There's Bethel. Very athletic. He loves to drive to the basket. So when he comes on the floor, number 12, Eric Bethel, they tend to drive and slash to the basket. Terrence Wilson, a freshman from Suffolk, Virginia, number 23 in the game. Michigan State has extended their defense to take away some of Mount St. Mary's momentum. Shot clock winding down, and a foul off the ball. What a bailout that is as Mateen Cleves is whistled. Only 7 seconds on the shot clock. Mount St. Mary's, we're 16, but we're trying harder.
A tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS Sports.
Mr. Kegler's class at Maxwell Middle School is measuring saguaro cacti.
Saguaros pick up a lot of water during the rainy season. We're going to see if the circumference changes through the course of the year.
They're graphing their findings with Microsoft Excel.
Sometimes you get the results you expected, sometimes you don't.
These kids are learning that they can use technology to understand the world.
Science is life, actually. I don't know how to reduce it from that.
I became interested in working in the brokerage industry when I was very young. I went to Harvard. I majored in economics. We had a last trade at 59 and 7/16. That was down 4 and 3/16 on the day. Throughout my life, I've had to work hard and had to focus to get where I am, and I'm going to bring that ethic to my job here at Schwab. Charles Schwab, Adam, 122998. Anytime you have a company that's been as successful as Schwab, obviously the employees are driving that, and I hope that I benefit Schwab in their growth and in their success, and I will.
It is more than a trial by fire. It is a rite of passage. And if you can master your fear, outsmart your enemy, and never yield, even to yourself, you will be changed forever. The few, the proud, the Marines.
17-14, the top seed in the Midwest region here in Milwaukee, with a 3-point lead over Mount St. Mary's. Check out the data bank on 16 versus 1s. And interestingly, the last one I was a part of, I got to watch that game in Albuquerque. Western Carolina had a shot at the buzzer that rimmed out off the back iron. Everyone remembers the Georgetown-Princeton game of 1989. So many. And I think the the level of the 16 seeds now is drawing closer and closer to being competitive. So many 15s have won, but never a 16 over a top seed since we expanded to 64 teams in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and I'm almost sure that with 64 teams in the Big Dance, a lot of exposure on television now. You're getting better players at some of these not so popular schools.
Again, great work on the glass by Morris Peterson. Out of the timeout, Hudson, the cutter, lost it. Pretty good look. The pass from Charlie Bell, number 14, sophomore from Flint, Michigan. Well, the Spartans had a tremendous season, one that dreams are made of. Their 13th NCAA tournament appearance, 29-4, earning the automatic bid by virtue of winning just the second Big Ten tournament championship. I think the jury is still out on the impact of the tournament at the Big Ten level, where Big Ten teams are concerned in the NCAA. Not there for Hayden, Tony Hayden. Still looking for his first basket, the senior from Gladwin, Pennsylvania. Doug Davis, number 30 on the floor. On a team that's so guard-laden, it's tough for Davis to get minutes, but he's very athletic. Gets it done on the defensive end as well. Peterson pulls up. That's his game. Gregory Harris has been the story for Mount St. Mary's. 4 out of 5 for him. The rest of the team, 2 out of 9. So the point guard has to get it started for Mount St. Mary's. They trail by 5.
Well, they run that flex motion, almost like a passing game, trying to catch the defense off guard. But Whitaker has such a presence early in the game, they might want to go down in the post a little bit more and see if they can free Whitaker up instead of having him on the perimeter.
Granger checks out of the game. Antonio Smith back on the floor along with Charlie Bell, Doug Davis. Antonio Smith. He wants it, Whitaker, but he's being denied by Antonio Smith. And a shot clock violation. Some half-court frustration for Jim Phelan's team.
And it's going to take Gregory Hines a little bit more to draw the angle. Melvin Whitaker has the position, but from the position where Gregory Harris is standing, he really has to create an angle, take a couple more dribbles toward the baseline to feed Whitaker.
There's the pop out. Peterson, soft, and again attacking the glass, the Spartans. Antonio Smith again. There's a steal. Harris on the run. Has Hayden with him and Bethel. And again, the defensive breakup by Davis. Just what we talked of. A young man that runs the floor on the defensive end and should get more minutes. With a lot of teams, he would. Cleaves back in.
But speaking of Doug Davis, last year, he actually looked petrified when he had to run the point guard position. And Coach Easer said, look, I want to work with you a little bit. He's a little bit better ball handler, but like you said, Tim, he is the defender.
Whitaker trying to step through a double team. Now causes a turnover with the deflection. Harris gives it up to Bethel. Right back to Whitaker. That ended a 4-minute drought. Just their second field goal in the last 6.5 minutes.
Hey, Mountain St. Mary's, they have very quick hands. They don't have a lot of size, but they kind of lull you into thinking you can out-dribble them and pass through the paint. Well, from the right side of your screen right here, you see Whitaker get in his position. Nice high percentage shot. Good pass.
He also created his own space there, James. You have to like that as a big man to understand that the spacing's not there. Back off so you can receive the pass. Kanata Springer in the game for the first time, number 55 in blue. Senior that transferred from Manhattan. His home at Baltimore. Now St. Mary's obviously not as deep as the bullish Spartans of the Big Ten. There's a rejection. Antonio Smith coming over again. Frustrating start for Tony Hayden.
Tony Hayden did a good job of going back door, but he ran right into a great shot blocker. And Antonio Smith, sometimes you have to go up and under and use the rim to protect.
I think it's safe to say that regardless of what the score is at halftime, there are going to be a number of fans that look up, see this score 12 minutes deep, and they're going to say, what a story. Even now, loose ball, Bethel comes away with it. And the longer they hang in, James, the more of a threat they become. And Tom Izzo, you can tell just looking at him, he can't believe what's going on. There have been some breakdowns in concentration for the Spartans on the offensive end.
Well, Mount St. Mary's, they're going to make you work on defense. You just aren't going to get anything. Well, as I speak, Mateen Cleaves with his quick hands still for a potential three-point play.
Whitaker lost sight of the defensive help and a clear pickpocket. Bethel picks up the foul. Cleaves will go to the line for three.
Well, Whitaker's got to be careful when he's around Mateen Cleaves because he drives to the hole, and Mateen Cleaves got a hand in with those quick hands. He's a steals guy. Must be aware. I would clear things out for Whitaker so there's no one around to pick him clean. Whoever Mateen Cleaves' man is, he's got to cut through the lane, take him away from Whitaker so he'll have room to operate in the post.
Whitaker takes a seat for the first time since the game got underway. 7:25 remaining, and he'll get an extra blow with this timeout.
What's wrong with Alex?
Alex, why so blue?
I wish I was blue. Everything here is so colorless. I need color to express myself.
Spoken like a true business professional.
I am? I mean, I did?
Sure you did. Every business needs color. Helps them communicate what they know.
So why can't we have some?
Because they need it more down there. See? Keep it in color, you make the point. It gets results.
But color is so hard to get, and it takes an eternity.
Not when you can get Xerox color on the desktop.
Or put it right in the hall.
You can even get it at 40 pages a minute.
Guess they really do need it. But couldn't I just wear this?
Maybe on casual Fridays. Keep the conversation going. Share the knowledge. The Digital Document Company, Xerox.
I found I was missing all sensation of sight. It was so dark underground, we had seen no light for days. What was visible, how there was the enemy. When I thought they were fighting against their better nature.
For those who combine a passion for living with a passion for living. The Volvo C70 convertible.
Hey, let's talk New York. Let's talk big. Like the new Big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. It's a genuine street corner 16-inch New York style pizza with 8 big floppy foldable slices that's really, really good. At a price that's very un-New York, $9.99. The Big New Yorker pizza from Pizza Hut.
Stuck with a flat tire? Not with this tire. Even with no air pressure, you drive to safety. Aquasteel Run Flat. Don't get stuck. Get there.
Meet Royal Pain, an innkeeper with attitude.
Oh, look, Baywatch, the cellulite years.
John Larroquette is Pain. Series premiere CBS Monday after Raymond.
Greg Gumbel, Clark Kellogg back in New York. Michigan State on top 22-16. We'll keep that score at the bottom of your screen and take you across the country. We'll start in Boston, where Lafayette and Miami are doing battle. And so far, Miami having the better of it after a slow start.
They've really dominated the glass, Greg. They've actually doubled up the rebounding total on Lafayette. Yet, Lafayette with some timely shooting and scrappy defense kind of hanging around, only down 3 right now.
Johnny Hemsley, 15 points on 5 of 6 from behind the three-point line.
Well, he's capable of volcanic eruptions offensively in Miami, going inside, able to get another bucket there.
In Charlotte, Florida A&M against the top seed Duke Blue Devils, and this is so much Duke, it's hard to say.
You knew going into this one, it was just a matter of by how many. Duke just has far too much for really just about every team in the country, let alone FAMU.
Didn't help Florida A&M the fact that they went over 9 minutes without scoring at one point in this game.
Well, Duke had something to do with that. They can be stifling defensively. And the team that's going to eventually have a chance to beat Duke is going to have a number of guys that can make basketball plays, be able to create without running your set offense, because they take you out of that defensively.
Meanwhile, in New Orleans, Evansville and Kansas, it was Evansville on top early on, but the Kansas Jayhawks have found a way to come back.
You know what, Greg, after watching some of the games earlier where teams really struggled to put the ball in the hole, it's an absolute treat to watch Evansville because everybody can shoot it in Kansas after a slow start, doing a real nice job with their defense in transition as we look here. Chenoweth, again, they've really dominated in the paint area.
Kansas, in fact, now 14 of their last 15 shots. Let's get you back to Milwaukee, where Mount St. Mary's and Michigan State have about 6:40 to play in the first half. Tim Brando, James Worthy.
The Mountaineers of Mount St. Mary's. Emmitsburg, Maryland, right on the border of Pennsylvania and Maryland, trying to hang with the top-seeded Spartans of Michigan State, the #1 seed. Antonio Smith picking up his second foul. To this point, Mount St. Mary's, though they went dry from the floor for 5 minutes, that in itself is a story, not getting a field goal in 5 minutes time and yet only down by 6 to Michigan State.
Well, they've been patient here in the early part of the first half. They know Michigan State is capable of being explosive, so what they're trying to do is work it down.
There's another missed layup. I mean, they've missed probably 3 easy layups between Tony Hayden and that one there by Newton Gale. Count it, and a foul. Andre Hudson. And again, Cleves really know how to find them. Gale picks up the foul.
Well, if you look at the Michigan State, look at these guys. They really spread the floor and really make it easy to get the ball inside. Watch how they pass it around, causing the defense to play on the perimeter. While inside, Andre Hudson's getting the job done. Hudson had a great close last year. So far this year, really hadn't had the great year, but he's still a presence in the paint.
He solidifies the depth of this team. 6'8" sophomore from Trotwood, Ohio. Was actually recruited by Nick Saban, the football coach, to play quarterback. Can you imagine a 6'8" QB in the Big Ten that has a lot of lateral quickness? There's Gale. He missed another one. That's 2 in a row. You have to think that the knee has something to do with that, and not going up for the full flush. Another loss. Whitaker takes that one out of the air. Michigan State on a 14-2 spurt. Hayden, who does have an outstanding jump shot, finally knocks down the triple.
Tony Hayden good at finding the open spots in transition. You don't want to let him get his feet set because he can knock it down.
It's not as if Mount St. Mary's has not seen good looks at the basket. They're getting open jump shots.
But what they're doing is they're forcing Michigan State to play defense on the perimeter. Then all of a sudden they pop a player in the lane for a little 2 or 3 footer, but unfortunately they just have not fallen for Mount St. Mary's.
Herbert loses it out of bounds. There have been those moments where they've turned it over, rushed it just a bit.
Well, 2 possessions ago, there's Harris inside to Newton Gale, whose knee is really bothering him. I don't really think he has the explosiveness that he'd like to have under the paint, and he's waiting for particularly Antonio Smith to come and block his shot, trying to rush it just a little bit.
Peterson. Non-starter, all Big Ten for the bulk of the year. He's gotten some starts, but it's an amazing story to think that off the bench you're getting 14 points. Instant offense for Tom Izzo through the course of the regular season. 27-19, Harris. Quality move, and he gets the bump and the foul from Peterson. There you see our game summary. Field goal shooting, both 40% clip or a bit better. The rebounding story, the key, and of course the bench, the inability to get much off the bench. 8 of those rebounds, by the way, for Michigan State offensive. And it's no surprise that the bench for the Spartans is more productive.
Well, you talk about Morris Peterson. I think that's the trend for a lot of coaches. They have players that obviously can start, but in their strategy, coaches love to have some instant offense coming off the bench. And I think it's a good plan to have Peterson in that position.
Charlie Bell, Andre Hudson, Martine Cleaves, Peterson, and A.J. Granger on the floor for the Spartans. Hudson, nice look off the Cleaves. Martine Cleaves, you'll notice, takes fewer threes and really is only about a foot away from taking the three. He really needs to work on his jump shot from beyond the arc. As close as he is, the good news is he takes the two because it's a shot that he's got in his arsenal, James, but one would think particularly as his career grows, he'll really need to work on the range from downtown.
Whoa! When you take on the corrupt.
Let's go, Hutch.
When you gamble with your life.
You are lucky. You are not dead.
You'd better have a partner.
Can't trust anybody in the department. How do I know I can trust you? You don't?
To watch your back.
I said so! Saved my life last night.
Chow Yun-Fat, Mark Wahlberg.
Want to be a Chinese, you gotta eat the nasty stuff.
The Corruptor, rated R. Now playing.
Used to be. If I want something done right, I called me. It worked. Until I tried to quit smoking. I needed more than me. I got Nicorette. Nicorette helped me 2 ways. I used it on a regular schedule to help prevent my cravings, and for unexpected cravings, I was ready with an extra piece. I used to be a slave to cigarettes. Nicorette helped me hang on, helped me win. Now that I'm nicotine-free, I gotta tell you, it feels good to win.
Now, Nicorette is available in mint. What a refreshing choice. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking to you today because I just renovated my kitchen, complete with stainless steel fridge, track lighting, Spanish tile floors, and a trash compactor. I'm not asking for much, just a little help in paying it off. Anyone? Sir?
How do you plan on paying for renovations?
Anyone?
A home improvement loan from Conseco can help. Conseco. Step up.
Through this door is the power to make the internet come to life. Introducing the Pentium 3 processor. Don't just get onto the internet, get into it. Find out how at Intel.com.
The next generation of justice never looked so cool.
Is there a problem?
From the producers of Walker, Texas Ranger. An all-new Sons of Thunder, CBS Saturday.
Martine Cleaves, not a great three-point shooter. As you see, he has the wall here. He needs to stay behind the arc. Instead, he steps in a little bit, and that runs coaches crazy because even though he knocks the shot down, the three-point play is a better shot when you're only 2 or 3 inches in front of the line. And Martine Cleaves, on the year, only shooting 30%, 36 of 118, really needs to work on that shot because if Michigan State is going to advance, they're going to have to knock down that 3, and Martine Cleaves has the opening quite often when the ball comes from inside out.
It's you know, when you think about it, we're not talking about 2 or 3 feet. We're talking about a matter of inches. Tim Brando, James Worthy, Beth Mullins from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. Mount St. Mary's, the 16 seed, trailing by 8. Gone through a number of scoring droughts, but have hung in there. And their half-court offense has created some open looks. Gregory Harris has been really the star of this team. Between he and Whitaker, they've been the bulk of the Mount St. Mary's offense. The Mountaineers of Mount St. Mary's, trailing by 8. Nice work inside. The birthday boy, Charlie Bell, who turned 20 today. Sophomore from Flint, Michigan, knocks that one through. 10-point game, largest lead, first double-digit lead for Michigan State. Between Whitaker and Harris, Gregory Harris and Melvin Whitaker, 18 of Mount St. Mary's 21 points. Gale trying to alley-oop to Whitaker to no avail. Well, clearly, for them to be successful, they have to funnel their offense through numbers 44 and 11 in blue. There's a bump. Hand check. To be whistled against Doug Davis against Aaron Herbert. The brackets in the Midwest region. Surprise, surprise, Oklahoma knocking off the 4th seed Arizona. Wildcats were a 4 seed when they won the national title in '97, but not this time around. And UNC Charlotte forced to overtime. Clearly, 2 of the outstanding games of the first round of the NCAAs in '99 played right here. Terrence Wilson is coming to the game, and the Newton Gale takes the seat. Doug Davis leaves for Michigan State. Herbert, an outstanding free throw shooter, 75%. Played at Calvert Hall in high school, a sophomore. A 20-second timeout. 2 minutes and 43 seconds remaining here in the first half of our game, and the 16th seed, Mount St. Mary's, hanging around. Get your updated brackets in the tournament tracker, plus up to the second live scores at cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online. Enter keyword CBS Sportsline. We talked about offensive rebounding, James, and the catalyst for Michigan State this year has been that for Tom Izzo. I think that that's an evidence in this game. Were it not for their control of the glass, this would be even closer.
Yeah, not a beautiful team, not a pretty team, but the word I like to use for Michigan State is grind. They just grind it out. They play tough defense. They hit the boards. They do all the fundamental things. You're not going to see them doing a lot of above the rim type play, but they really do a good job, particularly in the half-court defense.
A number of purists would love it, too, to have big men that appear as athletic as this team that play position basketball. In many respects, Peterson is that way. Cleaves with a little double hitch. Right on cue, Peterson in position to do the little things, getting a garbage deuce there. It's 33-23.
Well, anytime you put yourself in position, recognizing and anticipating your point guard, Mateen Cleaves, going through the hole, you know there's going to be either a make or it's going to be a dish or an offensive rebound, and Morris Peterson really does an excellent job. As you see, Mateen Cleaves goes to the hole, and there's Peterson just in the mix, not really in a great position to get the ball, but just being there, getting the deflection and getting his hand on it. Great job by Morris Peterson.
Aaron Herbert, who has been able to blow past Charlie Bell on a couple of occasions and pick up fouls. At the free throw line.
Aaron Herbert is quick off the dribble, and he could create problems if you try to pressure him, because that means you got to body up on him, and that's going to create a foul. I would lay off him a little bit and see if he can knock down the jumper, because so far he's proven to be able to blow by who's ever guarding him.
Got one of the free throws and another turnover. Breakdowns and mental lapses on the offensive end for the Spartans, and that's always a problem when you're coaching a #1 seed against a 16 seed. Some of that has been brought on, though, by Mount St. Mary's changing defenses. Harris, tough shot. Granger brings it down. Again, another scoring drought and another turnover by Michigan State. And Tom Izzo's face tells it all.
Well, a lot of people look at A.J. Granger and they say that's his fault, but it's important that the point guard comes back and get the ball. Mateen Cleaves on the transition that time, no matter where you are, if you got to come back 4 or 5 times, you will.
Herbert leans in. Again, another point-blank shot that won't drop. Some easy shots that have not dropped from Mount St. Mary's. They've now got 1 field goal in the last 7.5 minutes. 0 for their last 4 minutes. Pennzoil at the half coming up. Back at our New York studios, Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg, dapperly dressed, much as that man Jim Phelan. Although I haven't seen a bow tie from those guys. Got some live look into the number of other games, including another #1 seed, Duke and Florida A&M in Charlotte. Our friends Vern Lundquist and Al McGuire are there. Our tournament summary sounds like a broken record in recent NCAAs. Look at the double-digit seeds that advance. A number 13, a number 14. All number 10 seeds have advanced. Wisconsin's low point record for first and second rounds only, just 32 points. And Wally Zerbiak has outscored 4 NCAA tournament teams on his own.
32 points. You know, some guys, you're right, average that.
This is a matchup with a #1 seed that's left the swinging door open ajar. And it'll be interesting to see how Mount St. Mary's responds in the second half. Here's Cleves. Hayden the rebound. They're looking to push. Tough pass corralled beautifully by Wilson. On the deck, Peterson takes it away. Out of bounds to Michigan State. You get a sense that they're just rushing it. Mount St. Mary's on the offensive end.
Particularly that play, Tony Hayden did not have an open man in Terrence Wilson. What he should do is just control the ball, because possession is going to be critical for Mount St. Mary's. They cannot afford to turn the ball over against Michigan State. They need every attempt and every possession.
You could read Jim Phelan. You can read his lips there. He said, play smart. You know, and on the defensive end, they've done a nice job of that. But on the offensive end, it hasn't been the same. Peterson with the dump down. Nice crossover step by Hudson. Count the basket. He'll get to the line.
Well, Andre Hudson really had a power move on that particular play against Whitaker, and anytime you feel a body up close, automatically you want to spin off. As you see Whitaker playing it real close, and what Hudson does is just spin right off in the lane for a nice left hand jump hook.
Can't finish the old-fashioned three-point opportunity. 35-24. This may be a very big sequence. Last opportunity at the basket for Mount St. Mary's. We touched on single digits. To be down by less than 10 would be very important, you think, to a 16 seed like this.
Absolutely, and you want to have a good play going into the locker room.
I know you don't mind it when the big fella touches it on the low block. He'll get to the line as Hudson picks up his second foul.
Melvin Whitaker, I think he needs to spend more time in the post. Every now and then he pops out, but I really like to see him receive a pick or set a cross pick for somebody. That's going to make the defense react, and I think you can get a lot of things over the top for Whitaker, or at least get low post position so he doesn't have to put it on the floor.
A.J. Granger back on the floor. Along with Jason Klein. Shot clock is off, so they can hold for one here. Mount St. Mary's had a lead at one time, 10-7. And they've had scoring droughts of 7 minutes and 5 minutes in this first half. Granger. Very big basket for the Spartans. We were talking just a moment ago how it could be single digits, and with a missed free throw and then a three on the other side, suddenly they're down 14. Largest lead of the game.
And that's not good going into the halftime, because Michigan State's going to come out and try to put St. Mary's away.
But the Mount Maniacs are enjoying it. This moment of fame. Let's go back to Beth Mowins. Beth?
Well, thanks, Tim. Tom, your assessment of how you guys played in that first half?
Well, I thought we were very passive the first few minutes. We've had a lot of turnovers. We didn't do the job defensively early. Then we started playing better defense, but we're taking too many threes. We're not playing our kind of basketball, so I'm a little disappointed right now, but I think we played a little better the second part.
More mental adjustments than physical in the second half?
Yeah, I think so. You know, just stepping in and doing the things that we've got to do. And, you know, these turnovers here on our break, they're doing a good job taking our point guard away, but we're just throwing it away.
Thanks a lot, Tom.
All right, Beth, that's the end of the first half. 38-24. Michigan State with a lead. Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg will be along with Pennzoil at the half right after this message and a word from your local CBS stations.
It's a tough world. Now there's one exciting car actually designed to take it. The Pontiac Grand Am. With its solid form design, it's the most solid Grand Am ever built. Excitement, well built, Grand Am by Pontiac.
Faith, courage, destiny. The television event of the year. Joan of Arc coming this May to CBS.
Jade's got Kate Blanchett and Brandy tonight on CBS.
I needed a good pre-owned car for college. So I took my dad to someone we trusted, our local Ford store. They handpick only the best pre-owned vehicles and give them a 100-point inspection by Ford-trained technicians. That's what the Ford Quality Certified sticker means. Dad bought cars here before, and I know my Ford store will be here tomorrow to stand behind me.
Ford Quality Certified. It's the only way to buy a pre-owned vehicle. Visit your local Ford store today.
Dan, you look good. Lost weight?
Cut the act, Phil. I need to tell management what's happening with our website.
Okay.
In terms they can understand.
Every buck we spend will earn $2 back by the end of the year.
He's a smooth ladies' man with one thing on his mind. He's a nacho-loving fool. Don't stand between the man and his nachos. Oh, yeah. Fungalicious.
Right now at Taco Bell, Big Bad Nachos Bel Grande are only 99 cents when you buy a large drink. That's over $1 off. Dig?
Nachos. Two #1 seeds, a #2 seed, and a #6 seed in action right now. They're all winning, and we'll bring you up to date. Coming right up.
CBS Sports presents Pennzoil at the Half, sponsored by Pennzoil, specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
And welcome to Pennzoil at the Half. Once again, everyone, Greg Gumbel along with Clark Kellogg at halftime in Milwaukee. Michigan State leading Mount St. Mary's 38-24. The Mountaineers hung in here for a little bit, but Michigan State is getting into the game that got them to this point as a #1 seed.
Their front court scoring has been dominant, and their rebounding work, they get 9 rebounds a game more than the opposition, 23-13 so far in the first half on the glass.
They were down 11-7 at one point in the first half. They then scored 18 in the next 23 points, and they've taken control 38-24. Meanwhile, at the Fleet Center in Boston, Lafayette and Miami, the #2 seed Hurricanes, lead at 41-29. They are early in the second half. That's first round action in the East. Let's take you to Boston, Massachusetts. Craig Bullerjack and Rolando Blackman.
At the Fleet Center, it's Miami and Lafayette. A 5-point game at the half, 34-29, but the Hurricanes have opened things up as Johnny Hemsley has really opened it up from the three-point line. Rolando knocking down 6 threes for 18 points.
Beautiful catch-and-shoot player has been left open a little bit, and he's been making Lafayette pay by knocking down quite a few three-pointers.
Lures trying to find the man inside. Stolen away by James. Showtime. Missed the jam, but a whistle. We talked about the back problem, and it looked like he even hesitated himself on how strong he wanted to go up.
That's true, because he wasn't going up there full speed. He was moving at a little bit of a slower pace. I don't know if his back was hurting him on this place, but Ehlers coming after him. He decides to take off and go right to the bucket. Was not even touched. See him coming right to the basket. Ehlers almost looks like he's going to touch him, but there was actually no touch right there. Tim James just missed the shot. Got a lucky break on that play.
Foul on Ehlers. James leans in and misses the free throw. James was 7, the Big East Co-Player of the Year, and a third-team AP All-American. 7 points, 7 boards. He's 1 of 4 from the free throw line. And he wears those size 17s. Missed them both. But the Hurricanes crashed the board and a fresh 35 on the shot clock.
That's been happening a great deal in the first half and also in the second half, not being able to get the ball off the board.
I'd say that was a linebacker move. He lowered the shoulder and took Ted Cole down for the count.
It's a big football play, but Ted Cole is also being very smart, though, because he's putting himself in Bland's way, knowing that he's not going to stop. He's trying to roll right through him, getting the offensive fouls.
Miami in the lead, 41-29. The Leopards in the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1957. They've got some work to do if they're going to stay and live to fight another day. In the Superdome in New Orleans, Evansville and Kansas. 4-point lead for the Jayhawks. They're just underway in the second half. Let's go to Jim Nantz and Billy Packer.
Kansas leading 47-43, and T.J. Pugh called for the charge. Basket is taken away. Evansville had an 11-point lead early in the game, 26-15. Kansas's largest lead, 7 at 47-40. And there he is, Marcus Wilson, now with 22 points. Bradford on him now.
Evansville was 8 for 14 from 3 in the first half, so they had a 21-point margin from the three-point line. Kansas did much better, obviously, in the paint.
And Nick Bradford drains the jumper. Evansville, as a team, over 50% from the field. All 5 starters shoot better than 50% from the floor. And they're doing it again tonight. Robertson on the drive, and one.
Jimmy Cruz looked at Begley and said, why are you taking that outside shot? And that really cost his team a basket on both ends.
Kansas, fresh off its victory at the Big 12 tournament, getting a good test here from Evansville, the regular season champions of the Missouri Valley Conference, a conference that sent 3 teams to this tournament, 10, 11, and 12 seeds they were ranked, but they're already in with 2 teams in the second round. Creighton over Louisville, one of them. Southwest Missouri State today, ending Wisconsin's run in 1 game.
Jim, here's a little bit of a 1-3-1 zone now by Kansas. Kind of dangerous with Wilson out there, and they try to screen him in the corner. Again, somebody else. Snow can step outside and shoot the 3 with some range.
Blocked by Chenoweth. He said, Billy, 75 blocks on the season. He has already in his career 4 games of 7 blocks.
Good cut by Pugh. Cleared everything out for Chenoweth. That's a nice maneuver there. Let's see if they stay in this zone.
Chenoweth with 11, and Kansas with its largest lead of the game, 9.
1-3-1 zone now being run by Kansas. Oh, nice. Oh, she's really hustling on that ball.
And Evansville hits another one.
So Evansville won't go away. 7-point lead for the Kansas Jayhawks right now at 54-47, coming up on 17.5 to play in the second half. Meanwhile, at the Charlotte Coliseum, the Duke Blue Devils now 75-29 leaders over the Rattlers of Florida A&M. Trajan Langdon not playing in this game, sprained foot, not needed. Morris Scott, long 3-pointer, might have been the last Florida A&M highlight. Elton Brand now.
Doing work inside, offensive rebound and the putback. And he'll show you he can pass it, too. Retrieves the loose ball. Carrawell to the right.
The #1 seed Blue Devils in the East, now leading at 75-29 as they come up on 14.5 to play in the second half. We're going to get you back to the second half of your game in Milwaukee as the road to the Final Four continues.
Pennzoil at the half has been sponsored by Pennzoil, specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
Now, Mr. Wells, we're going to monitor your thoughts. Listen carefully. Your boss wants to have a talk with you. You're being audited. It's 110 degrees in rush hour traffic. You're stuck in a used car. Mr. Wells, a used car. Mr. Wells, are you paying attention?
not in right now, but you can leave a message.
Or you can reach me on my cell phone.
Where are you guys? In my office.
Oh, you can email me
And hi, everybody. Our first game featured Valparaiso and Ole Miss. Come on, Valpo. It's to Jackson Truth for the win. Good.
If it happens to my team,
It happens to me. Valpo has won the game.
Here's some food for thought. A little bit of guidance from the citizenship through sport alliance. When you're on the field, keep one thing in check. Be a good sport and focus on respect. Respect? That's right, ain't it a trip? It's all about teamwork and sportsmanship. When you're on the court, use your intellect and be a good sport. Focus on respect.
I'm Sid Dempsey, president of the NCAA, and I want you to focus on respect.
I'm talking about you being able to go out and achieve what you want to be able to achieve.
The leadership qualities that the people have here just go beyond what you'd expect for college students.
It's more than just leadership in athletics. I mean, I'm sure you take leadership wherever you go.
Because when it really comes down to it, the NCAA is all about us.
America Online News. For complete up-to-the-minute sports coverage, news, scores, and stats, go to keyword CBS Sportsline on America Online.
At halftime, the top seed Spartans out of the Big Ten lead Mount St. Mary's, the 16th seed, 38-24. Emmy Award winner John Larroquette returns to television as Royal Payne, an innkeeper with attitude. Don't miss the series premiere of Payne, Monday after Raymond on CBS. So far, Antonio Smith, his ability to rebound and push it good has been a pain for the opposition. CBS Sports coverage of the 1999 NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
There's a boy outside, his name is Jim. He wants to know if I can play with him. Dance with him. Marry him. Can I?
Daddy?
Can I?
Visa Platinum. Exceptional credit limit. Visa acceptance for purchase power.
Daddy?
You can really use.
The address is CBS. Welcome home.
The Lexus GS 400s. It's fast.
The promise of the internet is not in the future. It's now. The bandwidth to change everything. Ride the light.
The corporate thing just didn't work for me. I mean, that's just
The politics, but the whole backstabbing, water cooler chit-chat and all that, well, garbage. So one day I'm online and I find Beyond.com. Before you know it, I got a home office and I'm living life on my own terms. With Beyond.com, I can stay at home and order all the software I need for my business, and it can be downloaded or delivered to my door. I'm as free as I want to be.
Oh, hi.
I think it's a great arrangement.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Genuine Chevrolet, First Union, Kinko's, and by Visa.
At halftime, 38-24 our score. Mount St. Mary's head coach, the legendary Jim Phelan, moments ago spoke with our Beth Mullins.
Coach Phelan, the #1 seed, still in sight at halftime. What did you tell your team during the break?
We told them we're just going to have to pick up our defensive rebounding, run a little bit better offense, and identify the shooters. I mean, we're hollering that last guy's a three-point shooter, and we still let him shoot. They got a great deal of diversity. They're hard to stop.
Thanks, Coach.
Mount led 14-11 at one point, but Michigan State closed on a 27-10 run. And without Whitaker and Harris, and their 18 points, the rest of the team has 6 and a collective 1 of 9 from the floor. That foul goes against Gregory Harris, his second.
And Tim, you mentioned all the easy shots that Mount St. Mary's missed in the first half. They had quite a few players that missed uncontested layups, so they could very easily add another 8 or 10 points to this game.
Yeah, this game could very easily be much closer than it really is. And a 16 seed with 2 outstanding players, Harris and Whitaker, you can tell they could play in any league.
No question. And the only thing that's hurt Mount St. Mary's thus far is Michigan State aggressiveness on the offensive board, along with the shots that they've missed, the easy ones. This could very well be a 3 or 5 point game.
Each possession so important. There was a near turnover. Herbert shot under duress, and again rushed. Bell on a run out. Very important now that Mount St. Mary's answered the challenge, because we had 30 seconds left in the half. If you recall, Whitaker was at the line to cut it to 9 had he made both shots. He missed. Michigan State made it a 14-point game after a three-pointer, and now they're in danger of falling down by 20. And as they take it to the hoop, Balgach is fouled by Antonio Smith. Robert Balgach, Jr. from Yugoslavia, served by way of Texas and Ontario. He's been a bit of a human compass, making his way to Mount St. Mary's. There he is again in traffic. Is there another example, perhaps just a little too quick? Those opportunities.
Yeah, anytime you know there's a great shot blocker around, even before you turn and face the basket, subconsciously you're thinking and wondering where he is. A lot of times that lends to shooting just a little bit too quick.
Last field goal.
Greg Gumbel in New York. We'll keep an eye on that game between Mount St. Mary's and Michigan State. Right now it's a 42-24 lead for the Spartans, but let's send you down to the Louisiana Superdome, where Kansas holds a 9-point lead on Evansville, and join Jim Nance and Billy Packer.
Here at the Louisiana Superdome, Kansas found itself down 11 in the first half to Evansville out of the Missouri Valley Conference, as Marcus Wilson, number 5 for the Purple Aces, had 18 points alone in the first 8 minutes. But Kansas has come back and led by 4 at halftime, increasing that lead to 9 right now, which matches the Jayhawks' largest lead of the game. Later tonight, it'll be Kentucky against New Mexico State. The Wildcats opening their defense of their national titles. Earlier today, Miami University behind Wally Zerbiak's 43 points, 12 rebounds, edged Washington by 1, while Utah was a 22-point victor over Arkansas State. It's interesting, Arkansas State's head coach, Dickie Nutt, is here in attendance tonight, watching, making the most out of Arkansas State's first trip to the big dance.
Beautiful backdoor cut. Boshi, good pass from Chenoweth. He really has a great angle at 7 feet tall to be able to see that cut. And they stay back in this zone. See if Wilson can get himself free. Looking for the cross-court pass.
Snow gets Chenoweth to commit. Left-hander. Bangs it home.
Snow averaging 13.3 on the year. Can be a big scorer. Had a very good NBC tournament. Showed us right before the half the extension he has to be able to go out beyond 3 points, take a long shot. And that was a good move with his left hand inside. Pugh having one of the outstanding games he's had in his entire career here tonight. Boshi, jumper.
All net.
kind of interesting, Jim. Since Kansas has gone to the zone, the one guy you would assume would be the zone buster is Wilson. He has not had the ball in shooting position against this defense.
Kansas with its largest lead, 11, while Miami is up 16 on Lafayette, and Duke destroying Florida A&M by 47. Kansas was down 11 at one time, now up 11. And that'll send Snow to the line for 2. He has 14 points on the night. Well, look at the field goal percentage for Kansas, 64%. Jayhawks in the first half had a stretch where they made 10 straight from the field. And points in the paint.
Well, that's the story of this basketball game. As I said, one team shooting from the perimeter and shooting very well was Evansville. But if you're going to take shots from 20 feet, 25 feet, the other guy's taking them from 2 to 2.5 feet. Sooner or later, as the clock goes on, that's going to catch up with you. Here's Lester Roll coming into the game.
Another chorus of boos for the former LSU Tiger, raised in Baton Rouge. And
Jim, that was an interesting article. Some of the comments that Roy Williams made, he said he's not real happy that Lester's driving the truck that he's driving on that Kansas campus. There's certainly been an incredible amount of investigation involving this young man, both when he was at LSU and, of course, with the transfer to Kansas. But Roy trying to keep everything out in front on top of the table. It has not been easy for him. And the young man has had a less than favorable welcome here in his home territory.
Earl began his college career at LSU. And due to some of his testimony, LSU was placed on probation. He transferred out to Kansas, so not a warm welcome. There's Bradford, his teammate, hitting the jumper.
And I don't think that story is over yet, Jim. I mean, they keep digging on that one.
From the corner, all air, and London pulls it away. Kansas wants to run. Well, there are those who don't want it to go away, including Earl's former college coach at LSU.
Dale Brown.
3.
Well, Kansas just killing them on the glass now. They dominated the boards in the first half, and this second half just been too much.
Kansas trying to set up what many are expecting to be that Kentucky-Kansas second-round matchup. They met earlier in the year, Snow with a 3. They met earlier in the year, the Grade A tournament, and Kentucky beat them by 18, and it could have been a lot worse.
Well, Jim, in one night, whoever would have expected a UCLA name and a North Carolina name going down on the same day in the first round of an NCAA tournament?
Yep, just 5 minutes apart. They tied them up, and it'll be Evansville ball.
Roy Williams frowns there, and again we get back to the doubling down by Evansville. You got to get the ball out of the low post in a hurry.
Kansas by 13.
You enter the financial world in search of a secure future. Instead, you find chaos and confusion. 9,000 companies to invest in.
Market mania!
10,000 mutual funds to choose from. Bonds, T-bills, commodities, precious metals. With new and unfamiliar choices emerging every day. The possibilities are overwhelming. Fortunately, there's a beacon in this complex world. An experienced partner who for half a century has helped tens of thousands of individuals and families find comfort instead of confusion. Come to the mountain called First Union. Or if you prefer, the mountain will come to you.
Okay, babe, here we go. Now, move on to the right. No, the other way, my right. A little more. A little more. Perfect.
How was it?
Beautiful.
If you think the Cavalier looks good, wait till you know it can go up to 100,000 miles before its first scheduled tune-up. Chevy Cavalier. The more you know, the better it looks. Genuine Chevrolet.
All right, I'm out of there. You're gonna have to do better than that, cop. Okay, I
I figure that there are 3 of you versus 300 of us. As for the building, we have assembled officers here, here, and here, as well as sharpshooters here and here.
The sharpshooters. Where are they again?
Sometimes it's not just what you say, but how you say it. Kinko's. Express yourself.
The next generation of justice never looked so cool.
Is there a problem?
From the producers of Walker, Texas Ranger. And all new Sons of Thunder, CBS Saturday.
Well, later tonight, Purdue against Texas, and bear in mind the 10 has beaten the 7 in this tournament in the other 3 regions, including Miami University here today over Washington.
Jim, the 9 has beaten the 8 more times than not in the tournament. And here's a great story right here. Lou Henson, with his 700th victory this year, going up against the team that's won more college basketball games than anybody else, Kentucky. College of Charleston right there, John Kress. Second longest streak coming into the tournament of anybody this side of Duke. And here we see the zone against for Kansas. Going to force a little time here.
Runyon, the pure shooter. Living up to that billing right there. That gets it back to 10. London steps in. Jumper. Freshman short. Back to him, though. One more time.
Good job on the offensive glass against by Kansas.
Lester Earl will shoot 2, and near the conclusion of this game, we'll select the Chevrolet most valuable player of the game from each team. And to date, Chevrolet has contributed over $6.5 million to the scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities.
Boy, listen to this play on this young man. Now, you got to remember, he played 1 semester at LSU, 9.3 points, 5.7 rebounds. He actually played against Kansas while he was at LSU. Scored 8 points, 9 rebounds against them out in Maui, and was heavily recruited by Kansas before he went to LSU.
1 of 2, and the crowd rejoices with the second one going awry.
Now, Keon, who had a very difficult first half. Remember the couple of possessions he was in there.
To be called on Lester Earl. They'll make that actually on London. Marlon London. Jim Cruz, he was on the last undefeated team in college basketball, the 76 Hoosiers, 32-0, national champions. Here's his start.
Eustace Wilson. He got clobbered on the inside, no call. I really like his demeanor on the court.
London, he's going to be a good one. That was one of the things that they really didn't have at all when they played Kentucky earlier in the year. Boshi was just a raw freshman, and London wasn't contributing much.
Most important guy to block out is the shooter. Boshi didn't do the job on it. Jim, talking about Wilson out there, have you ever seen a guy, he's the 2nd leading scorer, will go down the 2nd leading scorer in the history of Evansville basketball, but how about how patient he is out on the floor? He doesn't take bad shots, plays very intelligent basketball, and obviously did a terrific job for the team early on, but they don't do a lot to get him open here, at least in the second half. They stay well within the framework of their offense. Nice cut.
Petty misses the layup. Chance at a 3-point play.
Every time a Kansas postman catches the ball and makes the quick move, something good happens. When he stands and holds, it's in trouble. Look at Earl. He almost puts it up the minute that he touches it. You see it right here. No time for the defense to double down on him. It's a good drop step move on the inside.
He can increase the lead to 16. London with the rebound. No-look pass to Bradford. This freshman, Marlon London, has incredible vision on that floor. Court presence.
Without being fancy, Kansas has shown some excellent interior passing tonight, and that's why they have so many points in the paint. It hasn't been like lob passes for dunks. It's been just good passing, good movement inside. Earl, because of those knee operations and injuries, Jim, is not the leaper that he was coming out of high school. At one time, he was a very explosive jumper.
Kansas team that appears to be peaking at precisely the right time, winning the Big 12 tournament last week. There's Wilson, three-pointer from the corner. He now has 27.
He was looking for calling the timeout, but didn't get anybody to look at him.
Kansas, the Big 12 tournament champions. They were second in a three-way tie for second in the regular season. The ball kicked. And actually, the Jayhawks this year had a stretch in February where they were knocked out of the top 25 for the first time in 144 weeks of polling.
Well, they can say one thing, Jim, that nobody else in the country, I guess, can say right now. We've won every conference tournament championship we've ever played in the league. Right? Since it became the Big 12.
Hell, yeah, not counting the Big 8.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they're in the Big 12. They won every championship it's ever played. Oh, it wasn't there. Chenoweth could have made himself available there, but still, Bushi didn't have any opening.
Push outside by Boshi. Kansas trying to duplicate what happened back in 1988 when the Jayhawks were a 6th seed out of the Midwest. And with Danny Manning and the Miracles, they went on to win a national championship. Pulling away here against the Purple Aces down in New Orleans.
I want to like Rebecca, I really do, but she thinks Miller Lite tastes great because it's smooth.
And Rick thinks it's because of the choice hops.
And even if we could get past that, we'd still argue over whose work sells the most sports magazines.
Get in-depth analysis of the nickel defense or fishnet bikinis. You decide.
Guys buy sports magazines for great sports writing. People like Miller Lite for the hops.
Oh, great. So I guess we could be looking for that Rick Riley sports writing calendar any day now.
Miller Lite, the great taste of a true Pilsner beer.
Sleek, sophisticated, stylish, and yet with an exhilarating V6. Chevy Monte Carlo lets you express that hidden part of your personality, just dying to get out.
Mr. Freeman.
How are you?
Tommy.
Monte Carlo. The side you show the world is up to you.
I've known this guy 5 minutes. He's already giving me investment advice.
For a recommendation on your portfolio, please press 3.
I'm gonna pay for this. What was I Should my 401k be all stock? Should my 401k be all cash? Why didn't they write this last month?
My portfolio should be overweighted in game companies.
Why does this guy think what works for him? It's gonna work for me.
Thank you, Painweber.
Hey, let's talk New York. Let's talk big. Like the new Big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. It's a genuine street corner 16-inch New York-style pizza with 8 big floppy foldable slices that's really, really good. At a price that's very un-New York, $9.99. The Big New Yorker pizza from Pizza Hut.
Driving is optional. Stopping isn't. Get genuine Midas brakes for only $79.95 and our lifetime guarantee. Go safely. Go Midas.
I hog the bed.
Who will surrender first in the battle for the covers?
Joey Dawn?
Everybody loves Raymond. An all-new episode, CBS Monday.
Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg in New York. 77-61 Kansas with the lead on Evansville. We'll put that screen at the bottom, that score at the bottom of your screen, and tell you about Lafayette and Miami. Miami jumped off in the second half, Clark.
12-zip run, and they've outscored them with the front court 47-18. So Miami has dominated action in the paint area, and Johnny Hemsley has been outstanding from behind the three-point line.
Outstanding is right. 8 of 11 from behind the arc and 26 points all told. Meanwhile, in Charlotte, Florida A&M coach Clayton, you know, he lost his ticket, or he didn't bring his ticket to the airport when they were traveling to Charlotte. He had to buy another one. He said, nothing is easy for us. Well, he's got that right.
Well, Duke just keep the pressure. One of the impressive things about Duke is no matter who they're playing, they always play at a certain level. They're going to play their game, which is pressure defense, move the ball, and get high-quality shots on offense.
Florida A&M with 20 turnovers tonight. They've only made 14 shots from the field. Meanwhile, there are 6 Blue Devils in double figures. It's just a case of just being outmanned for the Rattlers. Meanwhile, at the Bradley Center in Milwaukee, Mount St. Mary's and the top seed Michigan State Spartans. Spartans now lead it by 20.
Much like Miami against Lafayette, Michigan State dominating the action on the glass and in the paint.
A.J. Granger, 11 points. Well, Michigan State has outscored, the Michigan State bench has outscored the Mountaineers bench 24-0. So the starters and the reserves getting it done for the top seed in the Midwest. Let's get you back to New Orleans. First round action in the Midwest, Evansville, Kansas. Jim Nance, Billy Packer.
Kansas down 11 midway through the first half. Couldn't figure out how to stop Marcus Wilson early. Gregory jumper pulled down by Hetty, but Kansas pulled away, led by 4 at halftime, and the largest lead, 19, has been trimmed with that basket by Wilson, and it's been trimmed now to 13. So 19 to 13.
Wilson wanted to pick off that cross-court pass. Pugh going to go to the line. Jim, you mentioned about that 88 Kansas team. I think one of the things that's so interesting about that team, they were a 6th seed. But you know what happened to them until they got to the Final Four? They never had to play the next game against the high seed. There was always an upset there. They played Xavier, was 11 seed, Murray State a 14 seed, Vandy that was a 7 seed, and then Kansas State a 4 seed until they got to the Final Four. And then they start knocking off a number 2 seed, Duke. And then finally that memorable game against Oklahoma. 2 at that time Big 8 teams going head-to-head in the tournament. Never thought Kansas could stay with them in a game that was run-shoot. It was 50-50 at halftime.
At the 50th Final Four. That was some night in Kemper Arena, wasn't it?
Oh, boy, it was something. I've never been more wrong about strategy. I said Kansas cannot win this game playing full court, running up and down, and boy, they proved that they could handle any kind of challenge. It was just Billy Tubbs' outstanding Oklahoma team.
Just magic in the air. No. And Chenoweth comes out with it. Ryan Robertson has returned with his 4 fouls.
Lucy should have been ready to shoot that jumper. He had a wide open shot. Look at Gregory wheel in there.
Pugh, like to see Pugh get one more basket. And a couple of chances inside. Needs one for a career high.
I think he's a little tired right now. There is, boy, Wilson putting on a tremendous show.
And he's put a 30 on Kansas here in the tournament. 31, in fact.
So we've had 2 30-point scoring games right here on this floor in back-to-back games now.
And the other one actually was 43 by Wally Serbiak. Bochy. Gregory out battling for the rebound. Runyon.
Gregory's very explosive on the inside. Runyon just can't stay with him.
5 players in double figures for Kansas.
Substitution.
And let's check the CBS Sportsline stat of the game. We've been monitoring points in the paint, and look at that decisive edge of 40 for Kansas. For complete tournament coverage, go to cbs.sportsline.com. What about Kansas? Kansas in this tournament, the way it's looking here in the second half tonight.
Well, I think it's a team obviously coached by a man very experienced in NCAA tournament play. I think it's a team a little young as they proceed further down the line. Even though they play real good defense, see some teams a little bit more mature than they are inside. Boy, there's Wilson again.
Wilson, 34. That's not the season high against Kansas. That was Rayford Young of Texas Tech. Put 41 on Kansas back in February.
And this is a good defensive team he's doing this against.
Oshie off the glass. Under 4 minutes to play. And a 22nd timeout by Kansas.
It's amazing how much that young man has progressed in regard to his decision making since I saw him way back in December.
That 3-pointer a moment ago by Marcus Wilson. That ties a career high for him. That's special here on his senior season, and it could be his final game. Down 13. He's tied a career high. Looking back to that '88 championship game, Billy, in Kansas City. Here it is. Danny Manning's 31 points, 18 rebounds. Remember that goal?
Oh, sure do.
Kansas' second national title, beating Oklahoma 83-79.
Larry Brown, his dad, and the coaching staff. Memorable moment. Then Larry Brown stepped down. Kansas got in some trouble and brought in a guy that people said, wait a second, an assistant coach from North Carolina? Going to take a chance with him at Kansas?
Just a few months later. That was in July '88. And Roy signed on. Had to sit out that first year from the postseason because of the probation, pre-existing violations before the Williams tenure, but they've taken off ever since. And this Kansas program has more wins in the 90s than any other team. Not more national championships or more Final Fours, although there have been 2 Final Four visits for Roy. And there's Matt Doherty, who won a championship on this floor. Yeah. In fact, really, literally on this floor. This floor here been repolished and the works, but this is the floor from the '82 championship game. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah. And remember that that North Carolina team was basically a 5-man squad. Dean Smith that year didn't go to the bench very often. They played low-scoring games. Matter of fact, a very low-scoring team, despite the fact that it had the Jordan, the Perkins, and the Worthy on it.
Oshie's basket. Matt Doherty calling for it to be counted, but they're going to take it away. No basket. Oshie on the charge.
Roy Williams feeling they stepped in after he went up in the air.
Doesn't want his team to get careless. Up 12, final 3.5.
A tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS Sports.
I'm going to raise you. Fold. Too rich for me. I fold.
Call. A couple of things to remember. 1, a full house always beats 3 of a kind. And 2, the new Chevy Silverado has the most powerful V8 of any pickup. Chevy Silverado. It's the truck.
Shut up.
Have I been a good husband? Have I taught my children the right things? And have I learned from what they've taught me?
We each measure success in our own way. Now Dean Witter and Morgan Stanley have joined to provide a world of investment advice on a personal level.
Have I done the best I could? Yes, I believe I have.
Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter. We measure success one investor at a time.
Mrs. Fleury is teaching geometry at Maxwell Middle School.
And when I get to school, I have kids actually waiting at my door.
They're making designs using Microsoft PowerPoint that they turn into mosaics on the school's picnic tables.
Everything that they learn is something they can use in real life, and then you can make it grow. And
technology is helping these kids develop the skills they will need in life.
I hope that the kids don't just say, you were my favorite teacher. They say, I learned something from you.
Stuck with a flat tire? Not with this tire. Even with no air pressure, you drive to safety. Aqua Steel Run Flat. Don't get stuck. Get there.
Good year, good year.
Martial law. All new episodes. Sammo Hung in Arsenio Hall. It could be in a little crunch. Will they escape? Saturday, 9 o'clock, 8 Central Time here on CBS. All right, Marcus Wilson tied his career high with 34. Can he top it? All-time scoring list. He's number 2 at Evansville. Keon.
He's getting plenty of good looks, but that's not the same as it being released by Wilson. Roy Williams played a lot of zone in this second half of this ball game, taking a little time off the clock.
And that'll be a 1-and-1 situation. Bradford heading to the line. 59% free throw shooter. Evansville still fighting. 12 down with 3 minutes to go. Nick Bradford, one of 3 players from Arkansas to play at Kansas. In fact, grew up right there in Razorback town of Fayetteville.
Well, on the floor, you talk about recruitment. On the floor, you've got the Player of the Year of Arkansas, Player of the Year of Nebraska, and Player of the Year of Dakota. And a McDonald's All-American, 2 McDonald's All-Americans, so it's not like Kansas doesn't get some talent.
Bradford was 16, 12 of them in the second half.
Trying to reverse the ball back to Wilson. Good job by Robertson to recognize what was happening behind him.
And Pugh came over to help out, too. Had 2 on him in a hurry. Runyon. The shot clock's not working, Billy.
No, it isn't. Let's see if it's working out. Now it is on both ends of the floor. It wasn't working on the right-hand side. Our right-hand side. So Evansville's going to have to put a lot more pressure if they're going to make a comeback right here. I don't think it's in the...
Don't think it's in the works.
No, it's not in the works for them. There's no question about that.
Boshi with the 3. 13 for the freshman, who was the outstanding player of the Big 12 tournament. Snow trying to answer. Too strong.
Well, everybody's shooting the ball except Wilson. What Roy Williams wants to do now, he's got the win. What he wants his team is just to execute, take time off the clock as much as possible. Notice how Evansville is not going out to guard that ball.
No fouling either. Minute and a half to go. Robertson in the lane. There's Pugh, career high.
There he goes. He deserved that, didn't he, Jim?
He really did.
Boy, in that first half, he worked so beautifully when Chenoweth was having all kinds of problems down that low post. And he set the stage for Kansas to get their points in the paint offensively.
He's got a double-double. 15 points, 10 rebounds for T.J. Pugh.
And I thought in that first half, he kind of wore down a little bit. We know he went a long time without any timeouts. About 10 minutes more than he normally plays in this ball game tonight.
Final minute, then we'll wait for Kentucky to open defense of its national title against New Mexico State. Kentucky and Kansas, it could be just that on Sunday. They have never met in an NCAA tournament before. Hard to imagine. 20-second timeout. Jim Cruz wanted to get his subs in.
Yeah, wanted to give everybody an opportunity to say I played in an NCAA tournament game.
Well, just the final minute here in New Orleans. Jim Cruz, Purple Aces, Missouri Valley Conference regular season champions. Been quite a season. They were finished, or predicted to finish 6th. Jim Cruz, he was just brought in the subs so they can get in the box score here. They can say they played an NCAA tournament game. His first game he ever played in his college career, he went up against Harvard. Said he'll never forget trying to defend this star player from Harvard, James Brown, former colleague.
No, he said he wore James Brown out in that game.
I was trying to be nice. JB's a dear friend.
JB,
I didn't want to say that on TV.
We'll give you your afro that year is probably so big he couldn't get around. But JB was a great player in high school, and he could have been at Harvard as well.
Look at these passes, 2 in a row. Kansas flashes of brilliance for sure.
Now that's been the key to this game. Interior passing inside the paint. Kansas has really done a nice job with it. You know, Jimmy Cruz also, you know, he was a starter earlier in his career. Of course, then he got beat out by better people by the time he got around to that 76 championship with guys like Quinn Buckner, Scott May.
Started in the Final Four game as a freshman against UCLA. He was trying to guard Tommy Curtis. He said Curtis beat us up pretty good because we were doubling down on Bill Walton. But started as a freshman in the Final Four, did not start as a senior when they went undefeated. James Short, closing seconds here in New Orleans. Kansas will win in the Superdome for the first time in 3 tries.
Yeah, that might have been the story he gave to Bob Knight after the game. Coach, I was doubling down on Walton. That's why my man scored so much. Oh, that almost went.
Well, the Jayhawks are hitting their stride in the postseason. They've now won a first-round game for the 16th straight time. We can advance Kansas to the second round here in New Orleans. And the Jayhawks on Sunday will take on the winner of Kentucky, New Mexico State, which will be next, 1/2 hour away. Miami University and Utah advanced in the afternoon. And Kansas pulls away after a 4-point halftime lead to win by 21. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Marcus Wilson with 34 points, closing out his career, tying his career high, and TJ Pugh with a career high 15 points in a double-double performance here tonight. Advance the 6th team into the Midwest second round. We'll be going back to New York to Greg and Clark when we continue on the road to the Final Four on CBS in just a moment.
Chevy Tahoe, like a rock.
Is it me, guys? Or do we really look ridiculous?
Man, for free Bud Light, I'm doing 70s night.
Right on, brother.
Shut the door! You're letting in a draft!
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
It started as a vacation, grew into a passion, and eventually led to a career. But you had your challenges along the way, like keeping an international organization focused and motivated, or structuring the acquisition of a key competitor. At Arthur Andersen, we help people make those kinds of decisions, and that helps them focus on whatever it is that got them wherever they are. Arthur Andersen, helping in ways you never imagined.
Select road. Validating tires.
What kind of road can you drive on with BF Goodrich tires?
Approved. Enjoy.
Any road you choose. BF Goodrich tires. Take control.
March is full of late show laughs with Tom Hanks, Mike Myers, George Clooney, Sandra Bullock, Craig Kilborn, Bill Murray. And tonight, don't miss Kate Blanchett and Brandy.
10 seconds in the game. Watts drives to the middle. Ripped away over to Clark. 4 seconds. Shot blocked. Good in the hands of Souvier. Miami's going on to the second round. It's Wally's World and welcome to it. How about Bob Bender? 1 point separates him again.
Earlier in New Orleans, that's how Miami of Ohio knocked off 7th-seeded Washington Huskies by a score of 59-58. Welcome back to our studios in New York, everyone. Along with Clark Kellogg, I'm Greg Gumbel. Let's bring you up to date on the action that has taken place this evening, and we will begin with the Fleet Center in Boston, Massachusetts. First round East action, Lafayette against Miami. The Hurricanes win their first ever tournament game, 75-54. The Lafayette band was excited, but wasn't enough to just show the band because Johnny Hemsley was on the other side, Clark.
He knocked down 5 triples in the first half, 9 for the game. He felt it and felt it good.
9 of 12 from behind the arc, 31 points all told And Tim James helped pull Miami ahead in the second half, makes the nice move on the way to the hoop. Miami moves on. They will play the winner of the Texas-Purdue matchup coming up this evening. In Charlotte, North Carolina, first round in the East, Florida A&M fell hard to the Duke Blue Devils, 99-58. Mike Krzyzewski looking on from the bench, didn't have much worry. Florida A&M, valiant effort to hang close early. Monroe Pittman's long three-pointer, but here comes Duke.
They were dominant all game long. There you see the jumper, Shane Battier from the corner.
Then watch William Avery off the dribble, penetrate, dish, dunk. Duke was up big. They won big, 99-58. Florida A&M, remember, began this season 0-10. They finished the season 12-18 with a number 16 seed here. 16 seed still has not beaten a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Duke will play the winner of College of Charleston versus Tulsa at the Louisiana Superdome in New Orleans. The Evansville Purple Aces hung tough early. Kansas Jayhawks got the better of it eventually, 95-74. Kansas cheerleaders had plenty to cheer about here. First half, Marcus Wilson was tough.
He had a huge game, 34 points, a career high, 2 of them right there off the steal.
Then Kansas came back. Watch the layup by T.J. Pugh, put the Jayhawks up 2, and Evansville coach Jim Cruz not at all pleased, and he wouldn't get any happier, Clark.
Well, Kansas able to get it done in the paint, either on short passes and shots like that, or off the second chances.
The Jayhawks have now registered 16 straight opening game victories in the tournament, and they will move on to play the winner of the matchup between New Mexico State and Kentucky. 6th seed Kansas will win 95-74 at the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. First round in the Midwest, Mount St. Mary's trailing Michigan State now 72-41. What's his problem? Green and white is his problem.
He loves the Spartans. And Jason Klein loves that transition 3.
How about Mateen Cleaves?
He's the quarterback. Pilfer right here. They won't catch him when he gets that kind of a head start. Nice use of the body. Got the hoop and the foul.
And the Green Bean man loves it. Spartans pulled away in the second half. Charlie Bell finishes Michigan State up 42-24 at that point, and the Spartans lead it 72-41, under 3.5 minutes to play now in the first half. Coming up later on, in fact, not too long from now, Tulsa versus the College of Charleston. Tip time is about 9:56 Eastern time. In the Midwest, 14th seed New Mexico State against the defending champion Kentucky Wildcats at 9:59. In the East, 10th seed Purdue against 7th seed Texas. In the Midwest, Ole Miss slated to face number 8 Villanova. We'll take a timeout, and we will come back with more on the road to the Final Four in just a moment.